Good evening, good morning, world, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Making It in Japan podcast. Coming to you live from Tokyo. But we're not live, we're pre-recorded. I am a guy talking to you in a microphone. my name is Endigo, and I'm joined to my camera left by the one and only Donna, the Burke. The Donna
I'm
Burke.
not a Burke.
No.
I'm not a Burke, not usually. But yeah, hi everyone. I'm Donna Burke. Welcome to Making It in Japan show, which is brought to you by Hottie's Heat Pads.
Hottie's
which
Heat Pads.
You can see. You can hear here.
Oh, that's some good ASMR.
This is a 100% non-organic cellophane wrapping 10 beautiful heat pads that last over 12 hours each. Do you need a microwave? No. Just open the packet, the 100% non-organic, non-gluten-free package, and you too can be warm on your bum, on your shoulder, if you've got your period, and that's Hottie's Heat Pads. Available now on Amazon.
Amazon.
Hey, that was fun.
Destroying the world one company at the time. Not Hottie's, Amazon. Hottie's is good.
But Amazon's service is so good.
It is. I use Amazon Prime every day for like, not every day, but like pretty much every day to buy whatever. I even buy my groceries on Amazon these days. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh Lord. So did you know that the Swedish word for can, like a soda can, is Burke, spelled like Burke? So when you said you're not usually a Burke, I was like, oh, that's funny.
I'm not usually a soda can, no. But Burke is a very negative, it's a very negative word, and that to be called a Burke is like being called an idiot.
Oh,
Go
I didn't
ahead,
know that.
everyone. Google it now. He's a complete Burke. So it's...
Is that like Australian lingo, or... Because I've never heard it.
I think it's English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
And
enough.
I think people used to play a game with decapitated heads.
Uh-huh.
And play a form of soccer. Anyway, let's just Google my name and see all the terrible things that it means.
Yeah,
but,
Making It in Japan, everybody, where we're talking about decapitated Burks. How you been, Donna? We haven't spoken for a few days, weeks, years.
I have been so busy. I feel like I've entered into a new era of my life.
Okay.
Indigo.
Fascinating.
And about 2 or 3 weeks ago, you might have remembered saying I was lonely, I felt isolated, I had no one to talk to.
Sure.
Whenever I said, hey, let's have a coffee, people just weren't hearing the subtext of, I'm desperately lonely.
Yeah.
Anyway, now I am not.
All right.
And I've got a purpose, I've got oomph, I've got a project that's been hibernating and sort of in fits and starts for about 3 or 4 years now, and it's suddenly just gone off the charts.
Nice.
It's a TV show, and it's set in Australia and Japan, and it's set in a expat high school here.
Oh, wow.
Someone that we both know is also involved in it, but they're super famous, and I can't mention who they are.
They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And anyway, so now I'm talking to Screen Australia. I'm speaking to, executives, and no one's saying, who are you? They're all being super nice, and they love the idea of it.
Yeah, cool.
And I think it's going to get made.
Wow.
I mean, very exciting.
This is so exciting. This is so cool.
So that is really cool. So that's what I've been doing. I've gone from being like very down to being very like, wow, I think I got my life back. And I mean, back in Tokyo, I'm not in Gunma at the moment. And I've got a sense of purpose.
All right. That's great.
And it's not just making biscuits.
Yeah. I mean, that's something. I mean, biscuits are good and all, but, I've been looking for that too. I think that's been a kind of global thing. I mean, over the past year, a lot of people, I feel, have lost their sense of purpose and sense of direction in life. So, yeah.
Why do you say, in what way? Like,
well, with the way the world has gone, I just see a lot of my friends and peers and even, famous people I follow on Twitter, like, with how the whole world has been over the last year and a half, like, a lot of people I've seen have just burnt out. Like, for example, a lot of YouTubers who I know personally have just stopped making stuff. They don't make things anymore because I guess they're burned out. They all feel like a kind of nihilistic, kind of dreading sense of like no reason for existing anymore. They're like, what's the point? So, and it's been kind of sad. And I've been definitely slipping that way every now and then. But And I think, it's just the world,
When you say what the point, what is that feeling of? Because I have that feeling as well. But what is that for you?
For me, it's currently I'm like, not to worry any listeners, I'm in a pretty good place right now. But it's the feeling of like, why get up in the morning?
Why put all this effort into this video? Because we had this conversation a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
You did this really amazing video, and it didn't land.
Yeah.
And you just felt like, wow, that's I put my heart and soul. It's really funny, but at the moment you seem to be on a roll.
Sure.
And I think you're getting so much fun in the making of it. How much fun is that true? Let me ask you. Recently you've been making these kick-ass Broadway, epic Disney castle, bloody bats flying around.
Sure.
So when you're making it, is that the most fun? Or is when you post it and see the comments, is that the most fun? The
entire process is fun, but it's fun in different ways throughout the process, in different steps, in different layers. But yeah, like the thing I'm doing right now, which is again that we mentioned in the last episode, the whole kind of Disney Broadway super over edited kind of comedy musicals. I mean, the whole thing of like composing that kind of music, like really Tim Burton-esque Disney music, that is what I like live to do, what I love to do. And then to sing, obviously record singing, the mixing, music mixing process, but also making it fun and stupid, adding the comedy element. Then of course like doing the styling my hair, putting on some makeup, filming everything, and then editing and adding special effects. I love every step of that process.
Oh wow.
So like it's like a cake that never keeps on getting more layers, But then when you release it, if it actually hits and does well, gets a lot of views and nice comments, that is like such a triple dip, So, and unfortunately, over the past, I guess, year-ish for me, I've had a lot of videos that I've been really proud of on YouTube really not do well. A lot of videos have done well too, but a lot of the ones that I've really been passionate about have not done well. So it's been a really fun process up until releasing it. And then YouTube has added this new thing in the analytics where it says, out of the last 10 videos you posted, how does this rank?
Yes.
And everyone has been like 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Fewer viewers than usual are tuning into this video. And when you get that video after video, week after week, you start like, it's not fun to post anymore. I just get depressed. I have fun making the thing, but then I'm like hesitant to even upload it because I'm like, nah, what's the point? I'm just gonna get depressed. So I want to make the videos and then just delete them, But the last few weeks have been incredibly fun for me. It's been the most fun I've had on YouTube literally in years. So with
I'm so happy for you.
With these currently three musicals I've put out there that have all done exponentially better and better. So it's been an absolute blast.
So have you got the results from the people you're making fun of that you wanted? Have they been good sports?
Yeah, so we talked about the first one last time because that was fresh, which was about this guy Dan TDM, who's one of England's. I think it's
that song I couldn't get out of my bloody head.
Thank
Daniel,
you,
oh Daniel. I was like,
yeah. So he did a video reacting to it, which I know you saw, where he was like, "Oh no, I feel like I'm being cursed." That reaction in itself, that like blew up my original video. I think his reaction is like approaching 2 million views now.
Wow.
So mine is, not doing as well, but well for my standards. Then the week after, I did a video where I apologized. I basically drunk texted another really famous YouTuber a couple of years ago. And he never replied to me, so I made a whole musical apology out of it. Like it's way after the fact, but it's fun. I just needed a subject matter that was fun and relatable.
And did he respond or she respond?
No, he has not responded. But the third one I did now was a follow-up to the first guy, Dan TDM. Whereas in his reaction he said, "Oh no, I feel like I'm being cursed. Endigo's cursing me." So now I did another one, a sequel where I'm literally cursing him. Is the plot of this one. I'm standing on top of a tower and like, "On this day I curse your name." And I really went overboard with the special effects this time. There's lightning and fire flying everywhere, and I'm like, yeah, it's
I need
it's
to
the
watch
best
that one.
You should if you haven't. It's the best one to date.
I haven't seen it.
And it's also doing the best so far. It's been up for a little over 24 hours now, and it's at like 40,000 views, which is really good for me.
That's fantastic.
Yes, I'm having a blast with this. So yeah, that's my current plan. Is just I'm gonna do one of these every weekend. I'm gonna try and put one out every Sunday night, and for as long as it's sustainable.
That's incredible. So you're composing, you're recording,
Yes.
you're filming, you're editing, you're mixing, and then you're releasing in how many freaking hours? You're like a machine, mate.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. It's my job. So my current schedule is Monday is brainstorming. It's my day off, basically. Monday is my day off. I do brainstorming. I usually take Maya out for dinner and like brainstorm ideas with her. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is songwriting, composing. I do the music first. I have an idea for the music musically. I compose the whole song in like 3 days. And then Friday is usually... Thursday and Friday is figuring out the lyrics. And then Friday is also song recording all the vocals and doing like the first draft of the mix. Then
You're so organized, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. It's your job. It's your job,
right?
yeah.
Saturday is filming all day. So it's waking up, showering, adding more hair dye, styling myself and doing the filming all in this room with a green screen. And then usually Saturday night we do a little celebration work well done. And then Sunday is get up in the morning and then just edit from zero to release So
you only have one day off a week?
Yeah, Monday currently.
You sound like a Japanese.
Well, I live in Japan, so But I had this sort of mentality back in Sweden too. I used to before I used to post between 3 and 7 videos a week. So I was never off, but I was also off whenever I wanted to. But now I'm actually trying to add some structure to my life. So
and you're only doing one post now.
Currently, I'm doing one a week, but I try to make them really, really good. Because I noticed that with how the algorithm works, it really rewards good videos, even though they're released more rarely, if a lot of people click them and keep coming back to them. But if you post a lot of videos that nobody clicks on, when you actually do something really good, the algorithm isn't going to send that out anymore, because it just thinks that people don't want to click your videos no matter what it is. So I have to be really careful with what I post now.
Can you take one of those videos that you're really proud of off and then repost it with a slightly different edit and then see if it lands better?
I could, and it would probably still get pushed by the algorithm, especially right now when I'm kind of in a good loop.
Yeah.
But a lot of the recurring viewers wouldn't click it because they're like, oh, it's just that video again. They won't know that it's a new upload. They will just think it's the same thing again. Or they'll start watching it and like, oh, this is just the same thing, and click off. And YouTube really rewards also watching all the way through to the end. So, yeah. So it's kind of a puzzle. You're like playing mind games with the YouTube algorithm with every upload you do.
God.
So that's just the reality of being a full-time
creator. So I misunderstood. You're doing a week's work and then editing it on Sunday.
Pretty much.
I was thinking you're doing that whole bloody video in one day, and I was like, what?
Oh, no. I mean, it's a week's process. But the music is the first 4 days, and then the video is 3 days, pretty much.
And do you have a few more ideas that you're just can't wait to do?
I have a few more. I have a few other YouTubers I'm gonna stand and yell at in a dramatic fashion, and some other subject matter relating to it. Depending on also if any of the guys respond to any of the previous musicals, I usually do follow-ups. So we'll see. But yeah, there's another one coming this Sunday. So right after the show, I'm getting back into composing some string arrangements for that one. So yeah,
you're so talented, mate. Oh my God.
I'm okay. I have my moments, I couldn't write a novel and a TV show like you've done, but
I didn't write a TV show. I just made one up. Yeah, but no, I'm sure you could.
Thing.
In fact, let's get brainstorming about what show we'd like to see streamed. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah. So anyway, yeah.
So what I was going to ask you about? How excited are you that Abba are reforming? And have you listened to their 2 latest songs? I haven't yet because I've been. Have you listened to them?
I was just waiting for you to ask.
Should we listen to it together?
I've heard them already. We can't play them on the call, unfortunately, copyright and stuff. So it's been known for a while that they were getting back together. It was just a question of when.
I didn't know that.
Well, they've been talking about it for like a year. Like we knew that they were in the studio making something, like a song maybe. But no, they're making.
This must have been something sweet, secret Swedish stuff.
Oh, perhaps I wasn't supposed to tell you that. I have to kill you now. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, but it's been fairly known for a while, I'd say. But we didn't know what or what capacity or when. But they're coming back with a full album, 10 songs, and they're gonna do a weird like hologram live show in London. So they released.
I think
2
that's
songs.
so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's kind of weird though. They released 2 songs, and one of them is like a grand like slow ballad. It's really beautiful. But it's like, yeah, they do their ballads too. The other one is basically a Dancing Queen knockoff.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. I mean, it's
If
very.
if you're on a good thing, stick to it. That was an
Yes,
old TV
100%.
commercial.
And it sounds like Dancing Queen, like just like it, but like in a good way. Like it's a different song, but it's clearly the same band. Could have been done 40 years ago.
Good.
Yeah.
No, even better.
Yeah.
Same band.
That
bloody Bjorn's on piano again, and
goddamn Bjorn.
Benny.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that one, the Dancing Queen one, I don't remember the name. That one was pretty good. The slow ballad one, that one really moved me. That is a great song. And it's like it's about it's. I could be misinterpreting, but I think it's about them hesitating to get back together because they're afraid that they've lost it. Like, do we still have it in us? That's like the chorus. And then it builds, and then like, yeah, we still have it in us. So it's beautiful.
Tears.
Yeah, it's beautiful. But like, they released a music video to that song, which is like the first part is like photos from their career, but then it's like a whole like live show on stage at the end. But they're 3D animated. It's really weird. Like, it's a 3D animated young Abba walking around on stage playing their music. So, because they're like 75 now, so.
So they don't want to see the wrinkles.
That's literally it. That's also why they're doing a hologram show in London, because they think people don't want to see them as 75-year-olds.
But if I went and saw Paul McCartney, he was in his late 70s, and I was happy to see those wrinkles. It's really inspiring. In fact, the weird thing about Paul McCartney, he does not drink on stage. He doesn't take a sip of water, doesn't take a sports drink because he thinks it's disrespectful to the audience.
Oh, really? Okay.
The times that I just turn my back and have a good old swig, I don't give a shit. I need a drink, man.
I've taken swigs without turning my back and then spat it back out at the audience so many times. So
classy.
Yeah, well, different scene, I guess.
Well, this is like that Stray Cat story where I told you my skirt fell off. At a Stray Cats concert, and all their sweat was going on me, and I remember like washing my clothes.
Sure. I just took a drink for the camera, so I broke that rule.
Hello, I'll take one too. There you go.
There we go. Oh, nice. Well, you at least have a glass. I'm just drinking straight from the 2-liter bottle.
A bubbly water.
So, yeah.
I drink a lot of bubbly water. So, yeah, Abba, that's just cool. Now, the other question I was going to ask you that I've been thinking about is, and people get, when you're in Japan a long time, people, where would you take, if your best friend came to visit, where would you take them in Tokyo? Where would you like, I've got to take them. Where would you take them?
In Japan. So, yeah. Actually,
you can't wait to share with your bestie.
This is actually a fun question for you to ask me right now, because I think I can talk about this. I'm currently scheduled to go on. Can I drop this? I think I can drop this. I'm gonna be starting, I hope, unless they cancel me last minute. I'm gonna be joining a popular TV show. Still not gonna say the name, just in case. Popular TV show on NHK as a cast member, starting next week. I have my first recording, which might be this week as of this episode going up. And I'm gonna be in the studio in a talk show starting this week. And it's gonna be really cool. And one of the things we're gonna be discussing in the first episode is they asked me about hidden gems, places in Japan, and I'm supposed to give like recommendations and motivate why. And it's basically what I've been thinking about all day, because I'm supposed to do it today. So it's a very timely question from you, Donna.
So do you have any ideas?
Or do you
Do you want to save it for the show?
No. You're gonna watch me
I'm
on
legally
TV on NHK next
I'm not
Saturday
legally.
at 8. No.
Actually, when is it airing? When will the show air? Have they told
I
you?
have no idea.
No,
I
could
guess
be
we'll
months
get to know
away.
on the day, maybe. But I mean, if you're asking me about my best friend coming over here, a lot of my friends outside Japan are musicians, and there is a part of Tokyo that I didn't know existed for the first 5 years I came here as a tourist. Pretty much, I had no idea this part of Tokyo existed. And it's if you come here as a tourist, you probably know of Akihabara, which is the major part of Tokyo, which is the anime electric town. There's like so many different department stores that sell nothing but video games and computer parts and anime goods and animated pornography, stuff like that. Everything geeks can dream of. But there is another part of town right next to Akihabara, within walking distance, which is, I would personally like to call it the Akihabara of music instruments.
Ooh.
And this part of town...
We talking about Ochanomizu?
That's the one, Ochanomizu.
That's where my husband always goes.
Oh, well, there you go, right? To do guitar stuff, I guess.
Yeah, guitar stuff.
So Ochanomizu, it's smaller than Akihabara, but it's, from a Swedish point of view, it's absolutely massive. It's a part of town which is like skyscrapers and buildings for miles and miles, it feels like. It's probably not that big, but all these buildings are guitar shops and violin shops and piano shops, mostly guitar shops. So you go down this fucking high street, main street, and you see every single shop you pass by, 10 stories, 15 stories, some of them. It's just guitar shops, and they have like one floor per guitar brand, and it's insane. There's like
that's nuts.
There are more guitar shops in that little area than there are in like all of Scandinavia. I mean, probably.
Right. Yeah.
So, and not a lot of musicians know about the place. I think I didn't for the first few years I came here. When I went there first time, like after moving here in 2019, I was mind blown at like just the amount of stuff that was there.
The depth of it. Yeah.
And like there's so many brands and things that don't exist in Sweden. There are so many things that you can find there that are secondhand that do exist in Sweden that are like half the price or less over here. So yeah, Ochanomizu is definitely one of them. And then, you know, in general, the Koenji area as a musician, it's like Tokyo's little New Orleans, I'd say, with like every street has like so many jazz clubs and blues clubs and rock bars. So it's like all the music streets. There's street musicians everywhere at night. Even now there is. So yeah, it's two of my favorite areas. Again, as a musician. So yeah, there's probably two of my answers.
Have you noticed that your musical instruments have suffered with the weird Tokyo climate, which is uber dry in winter and uber wet in summer? Have you had any problems?
Personally, I haven't. I currently have my only instrument is this one guitar that I bought. I'd say about a year ago. It was like October of last year. And I don't know if it's because it's a Japanese brand or because it's made in Japan and has been in Japan all its life. It's secondhand, but it's been doing really well.
Yeah.
Even though there's a lot of electronics in it, even these buttons light up when it's plugged in. But no, it's been doing really well. However, we have been getting a little bit of like mold and stuff in our apartment. Yeah. On like
I've been getting on my clothes,
stuff.
like white stuff on my black jacket, and it's just like. And I've had the air conditioner going the whole time, so it's not like weird, isn't it?
Do you have a dehumidifier, like a separate one?
We've got those dehumidifiers in all the cupboards. You know, the ones that the standalone ones. Yeah, those ones.
Like these ones.
Yeah.
Those are good, but do you have wait? Let me show you. Do you have one of these?
A machine.
Yeah. One of see if I can reach all the way.
Oh, it's plugged in though, isn't it?
One of these.
No, I don't have that. Is that electric one?
Yeah. So you plug it in. It lights up, and then it just creates water from the air, pretty much.
Yeah, I used to have those, but now I just use the aircon, with the dehumidifying function.
Yeah. That's probably good enough too, but I've never had any mold in this room, and I have one of those there. So.
Yeah.
Not saying that's why, but I've been very lucky, I guess.
So you must be excited about this TV show because
I am.
It's being social.
Yeah.
Even if you've got your masks, what are the COVID protocols?
I don't know, but I've searched up some of the newer episodes on YouTube that some people upload apparently, and I've seen episodes that have been recorded this summer, and people aren't wearing masks, but they're sitting like 3 meters away from each other. So I wonder how many cameras they need to have to like be able to do all the close-ups and everything for so many people that are so far apart, because the studio is massive. So I assume you.
That's good. That sounds safe. I did a recording at NHK this year, and without a mask, and the guy was like 10 meters away from me.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be saved like that. But since it being a talk show kind of thing, I'm just worried, like, if I'm supposed to talk with somebody who's like 30 meters away, if I have to like, hey, so here's what I think. That's a nice shirt you got. No, shirt, not short. No, I'm sorry. You know? So we'll see. I'm sure they'll work it out. But yeah, that's really exciting. So I'm currently scheduled for 2 episodes so far. And
is that all shot in the one day?
No, 2 different shooting days.
Wow.
So
and is NHK dealing with you direct?
Yes, they are.
Good.
So yeah. I'm not going through any stupid agency like Dag Music or something like that.
No. Good for you.
Hey, I never asked you, what is the meaning of Dag Music? The name? Is it like Donna
in Australia?
And
no,
or
it could be.
I don't know.
It's whatever you want to see in it. Donna and God.
Donna and Guy Perrin.
Donna and Guy Perrin. It's it means you're a dork in Australia. The word dag and New Zealand. It's actually originally from New Zealand, and dag is a piece of wool that hangs down over a sheep's bottom, and it's usually covered in shit and stinks. So for a New Zealander to say someone, God, you're such a dag, would be hilariously funny, because it's saying like basically you're like a stinking piece of skin flap over a sheep's bum. So and then it became like a dag means a person who's very unfashionable and proudly so, hilariously funny, and doesn't give a shit about how they look, because they're just a dag. So it can be a negative meaning, but mainly it's positive. So what would be a daggy meal would be something that your great grandmother made and said, "Come on, eat this up." Nowadays that's positive. A daggy night in. Okay. No makeup.
So dag music will be like music that's like, it's fine, but you cut corners because it's bad on purpose?
No, that would be cheap music. You haven't been listening, Endigo.
How do you describe dag not Dag Music, the company, daggy music? Like
daggy music would be Abba.
Like, so it's like campy in a way-ish?
No, it's not campy. Abba are deeply unfashionable, and yet everyone fucking loves them.
So like Ed Sheeran.
And they are not trying to be something. They're like, we're Abba, so deal.
Okay.
But dag music means you're going to make music. Like your videos are super daggy. Oh, I'm going to be Endigo. And who writes bloody musicals? Musicals are daggy.
I'd say it's more campy though, but daggy feels like more like unpretentious. My videos are very pretentious.
And here is a Swedish person telling a fucking Australian what their language means. Well, excuse me.
I'm not telling you what your language means. I'm just telling you what my videos are.
I feel offended.
You're the one calling my videos daggy after describing daggy as being the fucking shitty ass skin of a sheep and comparing that to my videos. Jesus Christ. You've offended me so many times this episode. I can't believe we're still friends. God damn it, Donna.
Yeah, so dag music, only Australians and New Zealanders would be like, oh yeah, that's pretty funny. But like, yeah, and it's also a wink to I'm not ever going to try and be super cool.
Right.
I'm not interested in playing that game, and playing super cool music, or I just want to please myself, like, and in doing so, be free.
All right. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
It's free. You're free to just do whatever you like and play. Because here's the thing: you could be so in your head about your music that you think, I want to do a Disney-esque video, but that's way uncool. And so you're going to edit that thought. You're going to suppress it, and you're going to make a cool video which won't land as funny because you didn't go all out, just like, wah!
Yeah. if you don't make the joke clear enough, it doesn't come off as a joke, I guess. So
to me, being really daggy means you being your authentic self. Tonight, I do not give a shit. I am going to wear a paisley headdress down to the convenience store because it'll bring me joy. And yes, it's super daggy, but I don't care.
All right. Not giving a crap about other people's opinions, I suppose.
But yeah, in a way that brings you joy and will not offend anyone. Yeah.
Much like the shitty skin of a sheep's arse. I see the resemblance. All right. Cool.
So you didn't ask me where I would take people when I went to.
Yeah, I was gonna get there before we started talking about the sheep.
No.
So what about you? Where would you take your best friend in Tokyo?
No, I don't want to tell you now because the fact that I had to prompt you, I feel really,
Okay. Well, let me tell you a totally irrelevant, different question. Where would you take your worst enemy in Tokyo?
Ooh.
Or rather, somebody who came here, insisted on visiting you. You really can't be bothered, but you kind of have to. But you want to bring them somewhere so they'll never want to come back again.
Still, that involves way too much work. What I do with people like that is that I always say, you know what? I never ever wanted to be a tour guide operator, and so that's why I'm not going to go take you to this shrine. If you want to go see a shrine, millions of people, tourists, have navigated their way to get to that shrine. So if you want to go see it, go see it. If you don't want to go see it, don't see it. I'm not going to think you should see this or let me. I'm not going to play that game.
Sure.
So I would take someone to the Korean spa that's opposite the Chinese embassy. Now, if you've been to Korea, or if you have a Koreatown in your city, for example, LA or maybe New York, you'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. But for me, a Korean spa is so. I don't have it in Perth, and it's just an amazing experience to have these elderly women with arms of steel rubbing your naked body and taking off like literally handfuls of skin. Ugh. And then afterwards you feel your skin just feels amazing.
Okay.
And hantai, and they tell you to go up, face up, face down. I haven't been since the COVID thing.
Interesting.
And I love that. And it's really daggy, and it's super daggy. They haven't done the decor in 40 years.
Sure.
But you feel amazing.
Wow. So I've been to a lot of Japanese onsens and some spa kind of places too. But you prefer this Korean place? How did you find the Korean place? That sounds a bit random.
There was this hairdresser, Australian hairdresser back in the day here. I think they still operate, but they're not Australian. They've been bought out, called Sinden, and they used to rave about it. And they used to say, for God's sake, don't let them wash your hair because the way the shampoo is shit. Bring your own shampoo. But they're hairdressers, so they would say that. But
expertise.
And then there'd be people in the hairdressing salon saying, "Oh, that place, they're so painful. They just so rough the way they." So I never went for a decade. I was like, it sounds really nasty. Yeah. But when I finally went with a girlfriend, it was just so much fun. And they lay you on a slab, and you're at their waist leg, and they just rub all these concoctions like egg yolks and at one time, and then this special soap, and then this special sand, and they just rub you with it. It's fun.
Okay, fascinating. So I've been to like a couple of massages, like full body massages. Actually, just the one in Tokyo. And then when I went there's an onsen in Odaiba that's really famous. I got a head massage there. I usually feel kind of awkward getting a massage. I feel like, I don't know. It's it's enjoyable, like physically. It feels good afterwards. But just paying a stranger to like touch my head, I'm like, no, I don't want to force you to do that.
I'm all about paying a stranger because to ask my husband to do it, it then enters he's not doing it right. Can you do it harder? And then I start demanding.
Sure.
And basically, I'm asking my sexual partner to be my servant.
Well, that's.
And it's not in a sexual way. Maybe it could end up being sexual. But no, I love the fact that I can say, "Do it harder. Stop doing that. go
Yeah.
do this. So I've got to give you this guy's name. He's a Moonie. So
What's that
he
mean?
once
Does he
tried to
moon
show
people?
me pictures of mass weddings and Korean thing.
Wait, sorry, what?
But he's
Do you mean he like does he like show his ass like mooning or?
no.
I don't know what a moon is in any other context.
Haven't you heard of the Moonie religion? It's in Korea and they do mass weddings.
No.
No. Okay. There's a very powerful world religion that started in Korea, and it's by the Reverend Moon M. And no relation to the current prime minister of president of South Korea, but yeah. So he's a Moonie, and I only know that because he showed me photos of his holiday to Korea a few years ago, and I was like, basically. And then I said, "Is that Moonie? Moonie?" And he's nodding very enthusiastically, and I'm like, "Oh, great. Okay, that's enough of that." But he comes to your house, and in my living room, I have a special face pillow and a cushion, and I'm fully clothed.
Sure.
I really trust him. He does a sort of a mixture of Japanese and a little bit of Thai, and he's amazing. And it's only 5,000 yen an hour.
Oh, that's
And
pretty
he's
good.
coming to your house
that's
at
actually
10
really good,
o'clock, 11 o'clock. So after a show, Endigo, I'll have him come at midnight, and so you have a hot bath. Then you put your jammies on, and then ding dong, he comes upstairs. One of my cats is
That is
obsessed
like
with his
living the
bag.
most luxurious dream I can imagine. Wow.
Well, it's $50.
Yeah, sure. For that home kind of service at that hour,
I know, right?
it's pretty good. Pretty good. I've definitely paid, equal amounts for like back alley massages around Tokyo. So
And I like the fact it's in my house, and
Yeah.
I can't hear anyone else. I know, like he wears a mask the whole time, even
Yeah.
before COVID, and yeah, it's really clean and.
I actually did go to this one massage. I think it was 2 months ago, maybe. In around Meidai in Tokyo, and it was like two other customers there getting massaged, and they were snoring. They were asleep. And then my masseuse, who was a friend of mine, she starts talking to me about random topics, and I kind of don't want to reply, because you're lying with a face pillow, which is blocking your ears. So I can't hear the volume I'm speaking at, and I'm afraid to wake them up by speaking too loudly. So I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's weird. But Donna, I get the feeling that you often prefer to, when possible. Correct me if I'm wrong. When possible, if the service or the gathering or whatever it may be, if it's possible to do it in your house, you prefer that to going out and doing it.
I do,
outside.
even before COVID.
Right? Because we talked about, again, Koenji, the music town, and you I believe you said you pretty much never really been around there that much. I'm like,
But also, so I got here in '96, and the level of cigarette smoking was just off the charts. And as not even just as a singer, but just as I cannot tolerate it.
Yeah.
So within 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm out. I cannot do this. So that's why I get anxious. That's look, that person's coming and they're going to start smoking, and it's only because of the Olympics.
Yeah.
That's finally, and even in today's paper, in Hokkaido, in some government offices, they've now reintroduced, even though this is totally against the law, indoor smoking places, because
serious.
People, the governmental employees were out in the street smoking, and people were complaining about them, and they were littering. The government employees are littering, so it's endemic. It's a male, mainly men who are doing it.
Sure,
and
I'll believe that.
You just yeah.
Oh my God, that is.
So I tell you what, whenever I
back.
tell people to stop smoking, they do it. But then you just become like the smoke police.
Like,
Could you please?
Yeah, because I used to have to be that too. Back first time I came here in 2016, I came here on tour with my then band, and every venue we would play back when smoking was allowed, in these tiny backstage areas, all the other band members would smoke.
It's
before
disgusting.
My show. I'm a non-smoker. Previous asthmatic. I used to have
asthmatic,
asthma. Asthmata. And so that would just fuck up my performances, and I would sing badly, and my manager will scold me, and I'm like, well, please don't bring me to smoke rooms. And he's like, oh, what am I supposed to do? So
Yeah, what is he supposed to do is he's supposed to have negotiated that beforehand, and it's very stressful. And so that's why, in answer to your question, I like to avoid that, and I would rather stay home.
Sure, but that's not a problem anymore, though. But COVID is, so you know.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. To see Tokyo, Japan in a non-smoking, and people are going to be having fun. Like, you look at freaking Ireland, like they were the world's biggest smokers. France, England, they could manage to, and everyone's still going out having a great time.
Yeah.
Smoking.
When Sweden banned smoking in bars, it was quite the riot for like a week, and then everybody just kind of forgot about it. But like Japan still has a lot of restaurants and bars that are still smoking is allowed, but it's not allowed in every bar, which is, I guess, the key takeaway, like it used to be. But like when things are back to normal, are you down to just hang out, explore Tokyo with me for a bit? I'll show you Koenji.
I will. I'll devote a night to that.
I'll grant you a night of my time. Do not disappoint me, or I shall have you deported again.
But I'm also like I also want to be really. You might have had this experience. Is that when you tell people what you do, and if anyone recognizes you, then the whole mood changes.
I've had
and
that.
It becomes the Donna show, and then I'm on performance. I've been to this. I mean, just recently before COVID, I went to a sushi, and then they find out, and then someone gets a guitar, and then you just feel like you're now the performer.
Yeah.
Italian restaurant I used to go to used to say, "Can you sing a song?" And it's just like, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Me and Maya have kind of a. We have kind of a saying. We don't like to become the wadai, which is, you know, a Japanese word for the topic. So whenever we're, I mean, again, not so much with COVID now, but you know, whenever we're out in Tokyo, we find a new bar, especially at night, and we're like, man, we want to go someplace new. And like, oh, that place looks cool. Oh, that looks fun, but it's kind of small. So I'm sure we would become the wadai if we went there. So basically, if we go there, it's not going to be about the bar. It's going to be about us. And we have this script of like pre-questions. Oh, where are you from? Oh, Sweden. Oh, you do YouTube. Oh, which bands do you like? Oh, you like this band. Oh, what's this like? What's this like? We have this exact script that we run through a million times with a million people in a million bars. And it's so hard to go to new places because first time you always have to do that script, talk about yourself for an entire night. Second time you can start talking about normal things, but...
And then the thing is, because of what you do, it really is the most interesting thing they've heard in 17 years. And so you can't blame them for going, YouTuber. Oh,
no,
so
I mean,
great.
of course not. But
it's like, even then, I just feel exhausted just pretending to be excited about.
Yeah. So many times, like. God, Maya was like, she was telling me like, I know every sentence you're gonna say to a T, every next question you're gonna ask, every next example you're gonna give, because we've run through this so many times.
Yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen when you're on this TV show, whether you start getting recognized. You might.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, you know.
But actually, maybe that's good because they'll already know you're Swedish, you're this, or that, and it'll cut the script in half.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's not that bothersome. And again, but. It's, you know, man, some days I just want to be a normal guy, you know. But you're always going to get a little bit of that just for the sheer fact that you're, I mean, especially European looking or like white in this country, you know. You're always going to get a bit of like, oh shit, tell me about what brought you here? Which bands do you like, you know? Because I get the curiosity of it. I just wished I could like not have to repeat the same conversation every night, you know. So
why don't you just make a thing and just say a QR code, get them to do a QR code on your phone, and then they can just you have a website with all those things, and they can just quickly read it, and you'll say, when you've read that, get back and we'll start the conversation.
Sure. You know, actually sometimes we've gone out and we've just lied about who we are and just said we're like, no, I'm no one. And they're like, oh, I work in whatever IT. And I'm like, oh, cool. I work in a grocery store. I don't do any YouTube. I can't sing anything. And then I'm like, oh, cool. And then we can start talking about real shit instead.
Yeah.
So, instead of talking about me, which is like the most boring subject in the world for me. So,
Yeah, I totally have had that experience where you can just see how the future half hour is going to go, and so when people say, "What do you do?" I say, "I'm in business."
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah,
and it just shuts it off. If no one goes, "Oh, business!"
Yeah, tell me everything.
Yeah.
Do you file your taxes?
I do like being able to say that when they say, "Are you English teacher?" and I go, "No, not at the moment."
Yeah.
That feels good.
Yeah, no, again, it's really case by case. Sometimes they're like, "Oh, are you here as a student or whatever?" I'm like, "No, I'm here as an artist." Like, just give them a little, not give them the whole like, "Yeah, I'm a famous YouTuber," but like, "Yeah, I work in music," I'm like, "Oh, cool. What do you do?" "Yeah, I do some recording." "Oh, cool. What did you record?" "Oh, myself." "Oh, cool."
It's interesting though. Have you read that book by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now? No. There's The Power of Now, but there's also Finding Your Life's Purpose. I'm just trying to see if it's up here.
I'm gonna say no.
It's all about your ego. It's great. Oprah Winfrey.
It's not the same. Oprah. That's also known as ikigai in Japanese. Is that another one?
He's German. Okay, Eckhart Tolle.
Not
I don't know.
It's like a Japanese.
But
he's popular, similar. Topic.
It speaks a lot about your ego, and your ego is, wants attention and wants, wants to be heard, wants to be, and so sometimes my ego say, "Tell them what you do, Donna. Tell them." And I practice some, I just practice not lying, but I just practice just not being an identity or not being what I do for a living, and I just do that like. I wouldn't say it's a spiritual practice, but it's more like one day, we'll be before we came into the world, we weren't musicians and stuff. We were just, Donna and Endigo. So let me just relate to people like that.
Sure. I get that. Yeah, I mean, for sure, I've definitely had those moments. And it totally depends on the context. But like sometimes I'm like, oh man, I'm really gonna show them. Like, especially if I meet someone who's like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I do like something. What about you? And I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Slap down.
Yeah. So that that can be fun in some ways. But I guess the older I've gotten, especially when I was in my like younger 20s, when I was starting to like my first bands were starting to get some notoriety, I was way more keen on like, oh, let's see how many times I get stopped in the streets today. Like back in Stockholm, Back then, it was like I would get stopped all the time. But it's such a small city compared to something like Tokyo. And like, whereas now, I get recognized sometimes, but it's nowhere near what it used to be in Stockholm. And that is such a relief, I realized, as I've gotten older.
So is it, when people stop you in Stockholm, is it just as the same conversation as if people stopping you in Japan?
Well, back then it was, oh shit, you're the guy from this band. Like, especially I used to be in a band called Overworld, like in 2012, 13. And back then in Stockholm, it was like I would get stopped every day, like without fail, if I was in central Stockholm. Like from, oh, you're the singer of the band, specifically. But then, I mean, here it's been once or twice for my old bands, but it's for YouTube here too as well. Or like, oh, you're the guy who was on Kathy Cat's YouTube channel. I was like, yeah, that was me. That was an oddly specific thing to get stopped for, but yeah. So it's fun. Actually, I didn't mention this to you, Donna, but here we go. Here's a little tidbit for you.
Oh, tidbit! I love a tidbit.
So
throw me a bone.
Okay, I shall. So I told you about, which is, as a recording this, still unannounced, but I told you I was doing this live show at a place in Efikucho that we were going to record and then post it.
Yeah.
So that's
in the video. Yeah.
Which is pretty much finished, by the way. It's going to be released soon. It's all produced. But one of the camera operators / sound technician dudes who was working at the production, who was from God, sorry if you're listening, England, Wales, UK, whatever. He lives in Japan now. He was a great guy. We were talking, and he was like, "Yeah, I do some. I've done some work with NHK and done some stuff here and there around Japan, and I do a lot of music work and camera work, and I do."
Maybe I know him.
Well, we were talking, and I mentioned I mentioned that I was working with you and a lot of different other people and the podcast, this very podcast. And he was like, "Oh, making it in Japan. Yeah, with Donna Burke. Yeah, I know that show. Yeah. Because we were talking about podcasts.
Mate!
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm on it. I'm one of the hosts." And he was like, "Okay, cool." And then we kept talking. And then he was like, "Oh, that show. Wait, you mean you're the host? You're not just on one of the episodes." He was like, "Oh, I just saw a picture and it was Donna Burke and some weird pink-haired ninja woman." And I thought you were the guests in one episode. And I'm like, no, the pink-haired ninja woman is me. and I'm on every episode.
Awesome.
He was like, "Oh shit, okay, cool."
Pink-haired ninja woman.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
I mean, I know
see
what my
any
image looks
ninja.
like, you know?
I don't see any ninja in your image. So that is something that
I guess I mean I'm wearing like a black cat suit kind of thing, so I guess that's kind of ninja. I guess what he was getting at. It has like these kind of bangs. I don't know. That's what he said.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Well, if you're listening, mate, thanks for listening, and you've made our day. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for all the support on martial arts, and let's go to Hard Off someday. Yay! We were talking about secondhand shopping. He was like, "Yeah, I love going to Hard Off and Off House. It's so good." I was like, "Yeah, let's go together." So yeah,
awesome.
That was fun. That was a bit random, but he recognized you from the podcast, but not me, who was in the room. So yeah, it was fun. We're getting out there. The podcast. It's
I really
cool.
look forward to these chats, and yes, if anyone who's listening wants to have a guest on, just shout out to us on social media, and
Yeah, give us a shout. You know where to reach us. Yeah. Anyway, Donna, my friend, it's been a good talk. Do you have anything else on your heart, on your mind?
No, I'm glad I'm glad I got to see you. I'm excited for what your new video that's coming out for your first recording for Bleep Bleep show on NHK.
Yeah.
And onwards and upwards, mate.
Onwards and upwards. I actually have also quite a bit of recording jobs booked right now, so it's a lot of stuff happening at the same time, and it's fun. You know, things are happening. It's been really slow.
I want to talk to you a bit about that once we stop recording.
Yes, but yeah, it's just fun to have a lot of balls moving again after unusually slow summer, unusually slow couple of months in my life in general, in all capacities. So it's fun to have to feel alive again, I guess.
That's exactly where I'm at too, and I'm so grateful for the weeks and weeks of just making biscuits and sourdough cookies and reading books, because I didn't have anything to look forward to. Yeah. So now that I'm really busy, I'm glad that I've got that.
Yeah, you kind of need the perspective, You need the lows to appreciate the highs. At least I feel that way. So I'm so glad for you too, to see you back in action again, and to have this project come off the ground. TV show thing.
And thank you for reminding me of this theme song that you wrote for this TV.
Thank you for.
I have completely now remembered, and I'm filled with joy and excitement.
Yeah,
you thought I was going to say completely.
I hope I'm still involved in the capacities of which we spoke once upon a time. But
oh God.
Otherwise, I'll see the show when it comes out, I guess.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening to Making It in Japan podcast, coming to you pretty much every week. Your support means a lot. Donna, where can people find you if they want to hear more of you?
They can find me on Twitter at the Donna Burke, and on YouTube at Donna Burke Official. What about you, Endigo?
Yay! I'm at Endigo Skyborn on Twitter and all the other social media places, and just Endigo on YouTube. And that's pretty much it. You can find me releasing musicals every Sunday until I can't do it financially anymore. Yeah.
You're making the money, though.
I get by for now, but we all gotta eat. Yeah.
I get by.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Goodbye.
All right. Goodbye. Stay safe.
Hey, stay safe. Goodbye. Bye-bye.